It's the Swipe Life podcast with comedians Dana Alexander and Aideen McQueen. Don't forget our resident moderator, Karl. Yes, we are navigating the online world of dating. Follow us at the Swipe Life podcast. My name is Dana Alexander, and as always, I am with
Aideen McQueen.
Woohoo! So this is episode 3. We actually finally got to the dating portion. So just to catch everybody up, we had a challenge, right? So your challenge was to make sure that you swipe on at least 10 guys a day and engage with 3 in messaging back and forth. So how did you go with that?
Dana, I'd say I did about a third of what you asked me to do because I was good for me considering now I haven't done internet dating since 2019. I haven't been on a date since more than a year ago. But I was
August?
very busy.
You were dating in August, weren't you?
Oh yeah, but I didn't sleep with anybody or anything. Yeah,
okay.
I suppose you're right. I did go on a few dates in August. Yeah, that good memory.
Girl.
Well done. She's listening. But that was a date that happened in the wild. You know, there was somebody asked me out and
Street meet.
Well, not quite. Stage to page. But yeah. So I ended up going on a date, but it wasn't with somebody I met online.
Really?
Yeah. In my defence, I downloaded Badoo in London, then went straight back to Dublin. So I'll get on the Badoo now tonight after my show.
But the whole point was to get you on a date, and you went.
I did. I went. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to divulge. Where did you meet this guy?
So I met him, like I meet a lot of great guys, in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
Oh, girl.
Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe edit it. I met him at a 12-step support group for people with a certain problem, but they're good guys because you know they've got loads in common with you.
Because they mess up a few times and they learn the hard way.
Yeah, they're able to talk about their emotions. Yeah. So I find, so I go to support groups and we always talk about how we're feeling, and you get really deep in with people. So then when you meet people on a normal date, it's a bit like, why aren't you telling me about your childhood trauma? You know? So going out with somebody in his 12-step group is kind of like going out with a woman. It's great. They're very, I won't say emotionally intelligent, because I've recently found out that a man with an IQ of 130 has the emotional intelligence of a woman with the IQ of 70. Right?
It's
incredible, isn't it?
Not surprising.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Wow.
It makes a lot of sense. So so these men are better than the average man, but they're still not great.
Okay, so we're going to start the spreadsheet. So I want to know everything. We're going to go, how old?
So 49.
Okay.
Age appropriate.
Yeah. Height. You know,
oh, very tall.
Girl,
very
get off of
tall.
him. You don't, sorry, I can't handle it. Like, my grandfather was 6'7" and my grandma was 5'3". I have so many questions about how they got down. Anyway, so now anyone in my family, you don't know what height they're going to be.
That's
pause.
so true.
Stay there. And then Aideen, we've got you on the far right of your thing again. I don't know why.
Okay, so what I see, I'm just talking into the microphone.
So what I'm going to change this.
Maybe just change the mic. Yeah, the camera. That's perfect. Thank you.
There we go. Much better. And also, because of the angle I've just set up here, we need to just changing this slightly. It's still on, but.
Okay. Ready?
There we go. Yeah, I'm still rolling and go.
Yeah, so I don't know. Whenever I see some little short woman on some tall man, I'm like, get off of him. Because all these little 5'6" men are trying to snow black over here. I remember your little joke. So is this an Irishman that you've met?
So yeah, Irish guy.
Okay.
Now I'm nearly 5'7", so
Okay.
I'm not going up climbing Everest for Ireland. Come on now, Dana, give it a break.
Leave Everest to me, girl.
So he's very tall. I'd say he's about 6'3", very well built, very good looking. Yeah,
49, good looking. What's his job?
So he works. He's a kind of fixes things.
Oh, okay, like a handyman.
Yeah, he's a handyman. That's what it is. Yeah, he's a handyman.
Divorced?
No, that's the thing. Never been married.
Oh.
Which he'd kind of near to question it.
Ring the alarm.
Because he's been sober for a long time.
How long?
Like
a week.
15 years. Karl said a week. That's a long time for you, Karl. Yeah. No kids. No kids. Almost
Does
too
he have
many
a dog?
green flags that it's turning into a red flag.
What about a dog?
I didn't ask.
Okay,
I don't think he has.
You got a little slim one, you got a little fat one. How are you talking about?
I think are you asking me about penis size?
No, girl.
You know the chaste woman.
No, because
where did that come from,
girl? Because I'm like, no, because you're like you wait 3 months, don't you? So he's like is he a chubby guy, skinny guy?
Oh, he's well built. He's
nice
very,
little bit of muscle on him.
Yeah, he works out a lot, so he goes on a lot of holidays. He works. So I think he's kind of devoted to himself. He seems to have this life where he goes on a lot of holidays. He has fun on his own. He's got his own house. I don't know if there's space for a woman.
Okay.
And I feel like he used to go.
Sounds like there's space for a man.
Yeah, that's so true. Karl, you might have hit the nail on the head now.
I think I've hit the jackpot this week. So, what's his name? When do I meet him?
Well, do you know what we can do? We can do your test if you want to find out what he's about.
There's a test.
The grinder test, right?
Ooh.
So there's like a special little alert for like gay grinder. So when the messages come up on Grinder, you need to take that sound. And if he recognizes it, he's busted.
Yeah, you have to play that sound at your next NA meeting.
That's so good. Yeah, I'll just be like, oh, I'm terribly sorry, and I'll just watch his face.
Yeah. I'm terribly
to see if there's even a flinch.
I'm so sorry, I just triggered the whole group. Yeah.
And I'll be like, sorry, I need to know, I'm on Grindr, I need to know exactly where the nearest gay man is, just in case I suddenly want brunch. You know? What's my excuse for having Grindr? It's quite brilliant, though. I thought the test would be like, look at your nails or look at your heel, but no, that's so specific.
So, had you met this guy before?
I have known him for a bit.
Okay, so did he ask you out? Did you ask him out?
So it was what I call a mini date. Okay. So a mini date this is what I define it as. You know each other, there's a bit of tension, a bit of frissons, and then they will ask you to do a kind of a neutral activity, so that it's not specified date, but he's not asking some new member of the group to come, that's a man, to come and go swimming with him. Yeah. But I've also expressed the interest in swimming, and a lot of times
swimming date?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So a lot of time they think that men make the first move, or men feel, we always have to make the first move on women, it's terrible. I'm like, no, we're just there like, hi, giving all the right body language, looking at them like, ooh, I really love swimming. And I knew he was into swimming. So he's like, do you want to go swimming? I'm like, yeah, let's go swimming. I thought, I can't believe you asked. So I like swimming indoors. Now, I know he's into outdoor swimming. So I thought, right, I'm going to really wow him. I had this like a luminous pink push-up bikini with like so much padding in it, like, right.
And you have titties already.
I know. So
it's Dolly Parton working 9 2 3. Sorry, 5 2 3.
Well, you're a socialist country and western singer. 9 2 3. She's for the Labour Party, and so I had my like push-up padded neon pink. I had the spray on. I had the hair was done. I had like makeup that you can get, this waterproof makeup in Primark that's for the gym. So I thought I looked great, and I thought we just kind of dip into the water for a few minutes. I'd have my head above water, the kind of hot girl swimming.
Yeah,
where you're like,
it was freezing though. No,
right. So we got in, and he was like, "Oh, you look very glamorous." He didn't mean it in a nice way. Like, it wasn't like, wow.
Tens across the board.
He came in, he had like a kind of a bodysuit thing on, he had this little kind of condom hat on. He had floppy things on his feet. He was pro, and I just looked like... I look like a kind of an alien prostitute. Oh my God, I didn't even bring sandwiches.
Oh, girl.
So I said, oh no, it's fine, it's no problem. I said, do you not want a wetsuit or anything? And I'm like, no, are you, like, the whole point of this was so you could see my body, but I didn't say that out loud. I was there like sucking, and I hadn't eaten carb for 3 days. I was ready. But not according to him. So he was like, but you're used to swimming. And I was like, yeah, of course, but in the pool. And I do the cold plunge in the pool.
Oh,
like, for a
where
minute,
was this?
Right? So
is this the North Sea?
No, not quite. The Irish Sea, so in Dublin. So we get in, and I'm kind of fine, and I'm doing my hot girl swimming, but we go quite far, and eventually I got all splashed.
Were you not cold?
I was freezing, but then I got used to it. And
but then
also,
the boobs go,
my
boom. I know that trick too. But then the penis goes, it's like the opposite of the Netflix.
We stayed in for ages, and he was kind of nice. He was kind of encouraging me, like, very good, well done. Like, he could tell at this stage that I wasn't the pro that I claimed to be, and he was being very kind to me. And then he was like, we've done 20 minutes. And at this stage, I kind of lost consciousness. Not quite conscious, but I was in a kind of world of my own. I was like, yeah, sure. So by the time we got out, 22 and a half minutes. That's a long time. I stood up. I immediately fell down. My legs were completely numb, right? And I couldn't really think or speak. My brain was frozen. And I was like, so he kind of had to escort me.
Did he give you a little cuddle?
He gave me a little cuddle, but it was not a sexy cuddle. It was more like this is my child who's lying and now is very ill, and I have to deal with this. And I had to sit at the side. I eventually got it together to be able to put on my clothes. Then he bought me a cup of tea, and he kind of waited with me, and we had a chat. But yeah, it wasn't. The mood was kind of killed.
Was the chat really about where your next of kin was?
Yeah. Yeah. What hospital are you registered with? Who's your GP? So I would say. We sat in his van for ages, and I don't know whether it was because he likes me or was it because he was wanting to make sure I was still going to be alive, because he's a really good guy. He's a lovely guy.
Is there going to be a date too?
I don't know. I haven't really messaged him or anything.
Why?
There wasn't that much. The chat is so I find a lot of the time, because I'm a comedian and I'm very extrovert. I can come in jazz hands and have all the chitty chatty and. But I couldn't really speak because I was so frozen. So when I couldn't speak, he wasn't really speaking. And I don't know if you do this, Dana, but sometimes I'll go on a few dates with some guy and I'm doing all the chat and I'm being gas and I'm telling anecdotes and I'm really enjoying myself. I'm thinking, I could use that as a bit. But actually, there's nothing really there. And then the guy's kind of entertained as well, because they're like, this woman is like little television I can have sex with. This is great.
Oh, gosh.
But so I don't know if there's enough for a second date, but definitely lovely man. If you ever need somebody to give you lifeguarding experience.
Well, that brings me to a question, because I'm trying to figure out like the balance of like when you're leading a guy on or you're just giving him a chance. Like, how do you decide? I don't know where that line is, because I'm going through that right now.
Yeah. It's hard. It depends on your priorities, I think. So, for instance, I have two friends. And one of them is always trying to get a guy, but she was very picky. Well, not picky, but she never seems to really like anybody. And then another girl just decided that she wanted kids, and she went for it. And she was like, she decided, I'm going to find a guy. She met this guy. She wasn't that into him, but she thought he'll be a nice dad, and he's got everything else going for him. And she pushed through. And now they're really happy. They've got 2 kids. She seems to really like him now, but she really didn't like him at the start. But he had a good job. He was single, no baby mamas. He seemed decent. So she went for it, and she
even though she didn't like him?
Yeah, she pushed through that. She says you can push through it. So it depends on what you want, Dana.
That really is the story for the grandkids. Like, how did your granddad like me?
I thought the wars were over.
We pushed through it. Well, what did you push through? Just disdain for each other.
We have a saying, actually, the Tyler Perry saying, I can do bad all by myself. Yeah. But I mean, if you could, well, that kind of brings us to what we're going to talk about later, like about the changing thing, because I did go through the men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So out of 10, what would you give this date?
It was fun. He was nice. I'd like to be I will definitely be friendly and friends, and it was low expectations, because it was kind of like, let's do an activity.
Lowered expectations. You remember that from Bad TV? Oh, girl.
Push through.
Did you get a little check? Did you get a little peek at the ball? I guess it's not really the time.
No, I wasn't. I was very prudish, actually. I didn't really want to look at it, because he is very attractive. I didn't want to kind of objectify him. Even though I was totally objectifying myself.
Out of 10, what would you say how cute he was?
9. 9.5, yeah.
Oh, why is he? That's suspicious.
Exactly.
6'3", good looking, 49, own house, no kids, married. He's a serial killer.
I know.
Just be glad you're alive, girl.
I know that he previously has dated.
Keep pushing.
But he said I don't have the onus to have children. So if I did want children, I'd be like, all over him. But he I heard that he dates younger women a lot, like 20 years younger. So he's nearly 50. A lot of his girlfriends would be younger girls that are not from Ireland. And I don't mean English either or Canadian. I mean, not English as a first language, which I think shows that.
I've been there.
You have, Dana.
I'm there right now, girl.
But I think he has a type, and I'm not that type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm too old for him.
Too old, girl.
Or maybe he just didn't put out.
Or maybe
because it sounds like he's one of them guys.
It sounds like you're right.
Yeah.
I'm having kind of on a little pedestal because he goes to my and he's very spiritual. He does a lot of meditation. I think they're the most. They're just thinking about tits. Yeah. Why'd you say run? Why'd you say run?
Oh, the spiritual meditation ones are the worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really, really bad.
We're gonna get into that because
they justify stuff like they say. We're all part of the same universe. Let's just lie down together.
You know what though?
Chlamydia is all we can have. We can share.
Yeah.
I do remember when, because I remember when I was young, I quit drinking for a while and went to a support meeting, and I remember one of the guys trying to hold my hand all the time, and I thought that was so weird.
That's so inappropriate. Yeah.
This was like not during the meeting. Like
no.
Yeah.
And he was way older than me. I was like
Dad,
19, 20.
That's terrible.
He was like 37.
Oh, yuck.
But even he couldn't even crack me. I was like, what's this about? Like, there's a few guys, they do try it.
They do. They call it the 13th step in 12 steps.
The 13th?
Because a lot of people do it. I've had a few experiences myself.
Girl. So...
Because people are vulnerable, they've got all this thing in common, and then there's probably codependent people, so you want to get in a relationship. So it can be great. I've had a boyfriend that I met in these things, and it was fantastic. But and there you see these lovely, especially American couples, they come to holidays to Dublin, and it's their dream to visit where their great grandparents came from.
My great grandpa's from Ireland too, girl.
Yeah.
He really is. He's from Cork, John Crowley.
Oh, well, you should come.
I've been. I love telling Irish.
Pause 1 second. And then if you could just raise your chair ever so slightly. Sure. I don't know how you got lower. That's it.
Hydraulics.
That's it.
Is that okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So you do see these couples that have met together in AA, and they're so adorable and they get on great with each other. So that I would love that.
Okay. So you've been on two. Okay, we're gonna get to that one later. So you don't know about this one again. Are you gonna try and call him back? Nothing.
No, I'm very, very passive when it comes to men. I almost never make any effort. I just think I have it in my head that men are hunters, and if he really wanted to hunt, he'd be able to pick up a phone and give me an old text.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I don't bother. I won't even. It'll be very, very rare that I'll message a man on an app first.
Yeah.
I'll wait for them to like me, and then I'll like them back, and then if they message me, I'll message them back.
Okay, that's how you do it.
That's how I do it. Yeah, I'll show you on Badoo, girl. We got some more challenges. But have you talked to anybody online besides this guy?
I've talked to a few people online.
Okay, so how has that been going?
I'm finding it very dull. I need to have some help. I need your advice, because it's always like, hey, how are you? I'm shocked that they asked this question. How are you? You don't know me. You have no bar of how I was before. Imagine if I said to them, I'm really bad. I've got herpes. I just found out I got herpes. What am I going to say to how are you? Good.
Yeah. Maybe
there's just one answer.
What is it?
Good.
Horny.
Oh yeah, that's all they want, isn't it?
You either have to say horny or not horny now. Not horny right now.
Okay.
Do you know what that is? You know what? And
that's their language. That's the language.
But you taught me something else. Which you taught me something else, Karl, that put everything in perspective.
Yeah.
Because I actually get to a point with some of these guys where they come off the app, then they're in my WhatsApp. We might get to a video call, a little bit of a phone chat. So you told me basically they just want to have phone sex when they get on the phone.
I think this too. And then the ones they go straight to, I see more photos? And then you send them a nice photo of yourself, and then do you have any more photos? And what do you want? My old colonoscopy? My communion photos? I think what they want.
Photos on Badoo. 44, and they still
want
ask
nudes,
me for more.
Don't they? They want
and they're not going to get them.
No.
But I got a couple.
No.
You know what's so funny?
I used to send nudes back when I was
Oh, girl.
I know. There's stuff flying around for me.
I want him to stick around. Yeah. But do you know what's so crazy? I used to be so what the hell is this? Why are you sending me? Because now penis pictures, they're not solicited. Now they will ask you, do you want to see? Do you want to see it? And I'm like, well, yes.
let's push through.
I've been quite prudish. I haven't pushed through enough. But they'll send you unsolicited photos of themselves in the mirror, selfies, and I'm like, I'd nearly, or the worst, a guy sent me photographs of himself with his 2 sons. I didn't ask for it. I'd actually rather an unsolicited dick pic. I think it's way too intimate. I'm not going to stepmom up to these little boys.
Yeah.
Like they want, but
people with their kids in their profile pic.
The one with the mirror selfie. I think it's they're kind of in their feminine energy. They want to be admired, and I don't like that. Or the one where they're
laying in bed with no shirt on.
The pilfie. No thanks. The pillow selfie.
What's the pilfie?
The pillow selfie.
It's
awful because it's like I'm sexual yet vulnerable.
I got a few of them. Those are I have them on lock for them. They start asking for more photos. I'm like, here we go. 1, 2,
good for
3,
you.
4. Okay, here we go. That's enough.
I remember when I used to have a few lads on the go, and I'd be texting men, and I was not very emotionally well. I was very fond of the old cock. The old drink. I'd have my good nudes. And then if they were asked, I could be at work, and then I go they're like, send me one now. I'm like, I'm with a group of special needs children. I'm not going to start going into sorry kids, can you just watch the TV for a while? Mama's got to give some medicine to some man. So I would
could one of you hold the phone? Yeah. No, I'm talking about the kids.
Do you want to know? Do you want to hear something scary?
I'll tell you this.
I got a sexy cousin that makes her kids take the picture.
Oh my god!
Yes. I'll show you.
Well, because the kids are at the perfect angle, and so because they're
their hands so small they don't get in the way. No, so I obviously wasn't going to do that. But at the break of work or something, I used to be firing out these. Like I had a few, like just in, and then you'd be kind of going, did I send that one to that fella already? But men do it too.
You know, you also have to watch out when you say, one of the good questions to ask them is like, so how are you finding it on Badoo? But now don't say Badoo or Tinder, just say on this app, because I've been saying to Tinder guys, how are you finding it on Badoo?
No.
Like, you on Badoo too? You don't even know. Oh, they're just lucky I've neglected my Hinge.
So the chat is boring. So I'm trying to think of, should I be a weird? Should I say some weird stuff to them? Like would you, like, I don't know, what would be a weird thing? Could I just say, hey, if you saw, I've got a square in my house, would you be able to cut all the corners off? Because you can't cut all the corners off a square. You see, kid just makes more corners.
Yes, that's true.
Something weird.
Well, I wouldn't give them that much.
Put them off.
I wouldn't give them that much. I would give them a little, like, if you want to flirt, I guess it depends on what you want from them. Like, what do you want to know about them? Like, a lot of things,
that's a good point.
Stuff like, so what did you get up to this weekend? Are you working? What do you do?
Do you know what a guy's like, though? You're like, can you come over and like cut the corners off the square?
They do anything
He's like,
for you. Yeah.
Send me your address.
I'll be there. But then the problem is, then he shows up. Then you got to deal with step 2. You're not ready for step 2.
I'm not ready for step 2. I need to find out. Okay, so they need to be. I suppose. What do I want in a man? I want a man who is.
Sober.
Sober is probably good, or else it doesn't have to be sober, but just doesn't have addiction. Is not an addict.
Okay.
Like they can drink, but just like normal drinking.
Yeah.
Recovering addict or no?
Would be ideal, but like you can't have it all. I want somebody who is a bit older than me.
Okay.
I usually like older guys.
Okay.
Somebody who has maybe, I'd love if it was somebody who's self-employed.
Someone with some back pain, maybe.
Some back pain.
Some baggage. A few kids.
Oh no.
Saggy balls.
They can have the kids if they want.
No hair back here.
Dana just thinks I have the worst taste in men. I'm sorry, Dana.
It's funny because I think we didn't talk. We actually, I don't know what you call that when you've slept with the same guy.
Yeah, we've double dipped the ink, the wick in the ink.
The audio was messed up when we told the story, so we can say it again. Mm-hmm. But how about we put that on the Patreon?
Yeah, let's put that one on the Patreon where we compare notes. Yeah, the Venn diagram of Dana and Aideen collides to one fantastic little man.
What would you call that?
Threesome.
No, we weren't. It wasn't the Venn diagram. Think inside the box, please, for a change, Karl. It was like years apart. We were with the same guy.
Yes, it was. And that's
we're not talking about last week's guy that started speaking to you.
But we're gonna get to him.
We'll get to him.
We'll get to him. I still talk. He still messages me, girl.
I forgot to message him.
You don't even know the game I got for you, brother.
Well, I'll start back.
So I had a date too.
Yes.
Okay, so I seem to be dating the same dude over and over and over again. So He is 35.
Okay.
He's Iranian.
He is Iranian.
Oh no!
Oh my
But he's
God.
Kurdish Iranian. So, nice and tall.
Okay.
Builder.
You've such a type. Yeah.
Well, you know what the good thing about this one though is that he speaks German. So,
so we're nearly at English.
Such a micro difference.
Well, no, his English is much better than my ex's, and now my ex's English is amazing. Well, it's a lot better than when I met him. But so he's actually really proactive. He's in our Duolingo family, by the way.
I'm sorry. I saw somebody.
Yeah.
And because I've been dropped off the Duolingo since January. I'll start again.
It's okay because I had a family plan and she's in my Duolingo. So
just a minute. Duolingo is now dating lingo.
Not almost.
Dana likes to
If he
train
knows
the
the way
men
to
up.
my heart, he'll do his lessons. Okay.
Dana lingo.
Because we sitting there would translate whatever. But
she's like, I got me some cunny lingo.
Yes. So he was really sweet, giant, cute, very, very cute in the face.
What do you mean cute in the face?
He's
he's still
like
tall.
I like a little chubby man though. I don't mind. He's tall, 6'3".
Yeah, okay.
Nice 6'3". They're always really well manicured. I think that's one thing I do like about Persian men is their hygiene is always on point.
Okay. Well, I don't like when they have they get their beard done and it's very straight.
Yeah, he has that.
I don't like that.
Oh, I love it.
Do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you know any Persian men, they start growing hair like a centimeter under their eyelash.
Yeah.
They have to shave their. I'll never forget. I was walking past this one barber. It was a Turkish barber, and this guy was just like full face mask, just like a raccoon. Just his eyes, they were waxing the lot, and I just broke down laughing.
It's so funny because there was a story there on GB News recently where they were saying like all these Turkish barbers are just fronts for drug dealing, and they couldn't possibly be doing that much business. But I'm like, have you seen Turkish men? They are doing that much business.
Of course they
need to go to barbers every day.
I remember there was a special on this woman from Clacton-on-Sea, Mr. Faraj's constituency, and she's sitting there basically giving these men 8-pound haircuts. They look like they've been done in a prison, and she's wondering why the Turkish guy down the street who's lining them up, waxing their ears, their nostrils. Of course. Oh my gosh, it's not even. Yeah. So we went to Camden.
Okay, good.
He had never been. We had tapas, which I realize is a mistake.
Oh, FYI, the GB News is getting these Turkish barbers completely mixed up. The Turkish barbers are all the legit ones. It's the other ones.
The Kurdish barbers.
The
Turkish
the
barbers?
ones that look Turkish
that are trying
have Turkish signs that they can't read. Those ones.
Are they really doing
and
that?
And they are not doing. They're not doing the steam face. They're not doing the ears. They're not doing any of that.
Scandalo.
But their friends are popping in every 5 minutes, and they're talking like weird Turkish language.
Yeah, and they all
like
have a Ferrari.
Yeah. I got some in Brighton. I went to get my hair done in Brighton. I was like expecting the towels and everything, but literally I was just in the way of this guy's
Turkish barber
business deal. I mean, he's like, stay there, brother. I just need to speak to this man. Stay there, brother. They're like every 2 minutes. I'm like, I literally came in for short back and sides. I've been here like 2 days.
Oh my God.
I was like, come back to me, please. Push through the cut. Come on.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's just a front. But down here, we have a real Turkish one.
Yeah, you can't front like that in London.
No, he'll keep you in for an
so.
hour. Like, it's just like steam, everything.
Oh, oh my gosh, yes.
It's such a good service,
I think they look so nice. But you know what else I have to say about guys from that region? They're so chivalrous. Do you know what I mean? Like they will hold the door. He was doors, chairs, picked up the tab. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds I kind of like picking up the tab, like at least my portion. You know what I mean? I don't like people paying for me. I don't know why I have that, but I need to get over it. It is control.
Ooh,
he even rolled up my little spliff. We went down to the. Yeah, I know. Isn't that terrible? We went down to the little canal and he rolled it up for me. He wasn't.
No, that's sweet.
It was very sweet. And then I bought the drinks. We went to a little music place and he was really, really sweet. And then date 2, and we'll talk about that next episode.
Okay.
Because we don't quite have time for that. Oh, this is my question. Actually, no, I'll ask you my question next episode. But your challenge for me was to read the first 2 chapters of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Okay. So I have a lot of thoughts on this book. I read it before, and I have to say it's very, very binary. Do you know what I mean?
It's very binary, yeah.
And I felt like maybe I'm from Saturn. Because I was raised by like a single dad and my mom is a lesbian. Yeah. So like when I'm not the type of girl to like cry on your shoulder. I need a solution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and I tend to brood on my own. So there's a couple things that didn't quite make sense, but there are a couple stories you asked me to kind of come up with that, you know, brought up old stories. And I have to say, so the premise of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that when women are opining, they want your emotional support, not solutions. And men don't want you, when you think you're helping men and giving them all these tips and tricks, they feel like you don't trust that they're capable and that you're belittling them and in some cases controlling.
Yeah. When I read that, I found it really helpful.
What were you confused on?
Well, I would just say, because I had no brothers growing up, a very patriarchal dad who, you know, sat at the top of the table. We do everything for him.
Oh, okay.
You know, very traditional. Then I went to an all-girls school, state school, just in case anyone's like, oh. And then
you were deprived.
Studying. I was deprived. Yeah. Then I studied music in university, which there wasn't a lot of straight men there. And then I became a primary school teacher. So again, very few straight men.
So I was very deprived. By them.
Very mesmerized
just your
by them.
Dad.
Yeah. Oh. So I would tell a man my problem, and I'd be kind of, when a woman talks about, for me, I'm talking about a problem because I'm trying to figure out the solution myself.
But if you wanted a solution, why would you ask a man?
I didn't realize that. I wouldn't even know.
They don't know.
I know, but surely when you're having a conversation with somebody you love and you're like, this has happened to me, I'm upset because of this, and then she said that, and then he's like, why don't you just change jobs? I'm like, no, we're working in this primary school, everything else is fine. They would just, they have to come up with a solution straight away, or else they're just not listening. And I remember I was talking to this guy I was going out with a while back, and my dad had just been diagnosed with cancer, but it wasn't serious, it was fine, and it was going to be manageable. But I had bought my parents a holiday to the horse races in England, okay, to kind of thank them.
Ascot.
Yeah, not Ascot, Goodwood. It's it's a similar vibe, but my dad would be too, like Ascot would be too, he'd have to get too dressed up, he wouldn't like that. But this is one he's always wanted to go to. And so I'd really thought about everything, got the flights, and it was also like I was just sober and I wanted to be like, look, I'm turning over a new leaf. I want to thank you guys for all your help with my sobriety. And then my dad got the diagnosis and he had to go for radiotherapy, and my mother's like, he can't go to Goodwood.
You know what I just realized? I had a breakthrough, and come right back to it.
Okay.
This is why dating is going to be harder for you, because there's no alcohol. Continue.
Yeah. I know. Thank you, Dana. Yeah. You were just like listening to my story and like, I wish I could drink now. This is a boring story.
I know, like
I'm
just saying, this is why. Because you keep bringing it up, and then I'm
okay,
like,
so I'll make it quicker, Dana.
No, I didn't mean like that.
I know what you mean. So I was
it's the theme of pushing through this week. Yeah.
So I saw this guy. I was telling him. I said, "Oh, how?" He was like, "How are you keeping?" And I said, "Oh, you know, I'm fine, but I heard that my dad's got cancer, and even though he'd be okay, he can't go to the races. I bought him this ticket for the races, and it's just a bit disappointing, you know, given that I'm just sober, and I'd love to be able to do that for him and show him, and it's a bit stressful trying to get all the money back and everything." And, you know, so I was telling him this, and there was a little silence on the phone, and I thought he's going to, you know, empathise or sympathise or tell me about when his father passed away, or just listen. Hold the space. And he goes, "Oh, which race course was that now?" I'm like, that's what you're focusing on.
But I bet you there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and then I was so disappointed. I was like, that's all he cares about. But in his head, he was probably like, if I could find out what race course this is now, maybe I could sell that ticket for that fella now. And there's a lad I know who always goes over to there now. Maybe he could give it for her, and then she could have £2 back there now. So he was trying to be practical.
Yeah, I mean that's where.
But he wasn't able to say that's terrible. See, or I'm so sorry to hear that, babe.
But sometimes I feel like we need to learn from each other, because sometimes there's times when like.
But I learned from that book. I was like, look, that's the way he's made.
Yeah, and that's
he was
fine.
hyper male. He was hyper masculine.
Yeah. So let's get to the other side.
But how many men hold the space? I don't know any man that knows how to hold. Like, if you said to a man, hold the space, they're like, what?
You can I trained a few boyfriends that when I'm really upset, I know that when I'm really upset, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to give me a load of little tasks. Just give me a hug. Because when they see a woman crying, they're like, ugh. But actually, you can train them a cuddle, and it's fine.
I'll ask for a cuddle, but they don't know what I need a cuddle for. But you know, the other side of it that annoyed me when it came to the men are from Mars, women are from Venus side. Sorry, and I'm listening because I want to make sure we get to this point too. Is how do you feel, for example, like when you need to give your guy advice that he sorely needs? That he's like, because you know, the one part that resonated with me in that story was in those chapters was when guys don't like to be told what to do. So I used to have this like meathead boyfriend, Sicilian heritage. Lord, I went out with him for a couple years in Canada, and he never knew where he was going. Like, he literally would get lost going to my house, and he basically lived with me, right?
Okay. So sounds like the male version of me.
So basically, I would say, like, I remember one time we were going to the grocery store, and I said to him, because I was trying to sneak in, because I knew better. Don't give him advice or he'll blow the fuck up, do you know? So I said, it's really convenient how the grocery store is just at the end of this road here. He's like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to give me advice. You're trying to tell me you think I don't know what the grocery store is now. He's like, you know what?
This is over.
He's like, the next time we get in the car and you see that I'm lost, just shut up about it, okay? Just shut up about it. I don't need to hear. And he was very open to share his emotions. I said, okay. Because you know what I knew was going to happen? His ass would be lost in the next week, right? So we're driving to where he basically lives. He drives past my house. The house is like 8 blocks behind us. He doesn't realize until we hit the hospital. What do you think he says? Why didn't you tell me? So that's the part where I'm like...
Yeah, he sounds like a bit of an arsehole, to be honest, doesn't he? There has to be give and take. Like, you have to both learn and do the action together. Like, that guy sounds like, I'm glad that you're not with him anymore. Exhausting.
You know what he said once? I would never ask him for advice. One time I remember I said something to him and he didn't understand the word that I was saying. He's like, I need to read more books so I could learn more words. I was like, oh, girl.
I bet he was really hot, was he?
To me, he looked like basically every single acting role he ever got, he was like a mobster, an Italian mobster.
Sexy.
He looked like, he was very Sicilian. He wasn't a mobster. He was a comedian, but that's what he looked like. So
funny. I think that I tend to not give men advice, and I just, even if they do ask sometimes, and when they ask, it's fine, but like, if you want them to wear different clothes or anything like that, it's a lost cause, and they'll pretend that they want advice, but they don't.
Some do they? Yeah, like my ex, he sorely needed some advice, but that was because he's new to the country and he needed to navigate stuff. Yeah. So I used to help him. In fact, he's actually you know what I liked? It was kind of annoying, actually, to be fair. Anytime we were working together on a project, he was always way too bossy and not listening to me. So I'd put my hands up, but he still didn't know what to do. So he was still coming to me for help all the time. And then because you know my ex, and you know what I would do sometimes? I would just send him to Karl, because he would actually listen to Karl.
No way.
He wouldn't listen to me, though.
Yeah.
He listened to Karl just like a student in school.
Oh my God. That's funny, isn't it?
It is what it is.
That's very, I suppose, heteronormative behavior.
Yeah.
Macho behavior, really.
But he's from Iran.
Yeah, he's from Iran.
Yeah, I suppose the stereotype goes that he's quite a macho country.
But you know what? I don't mind that, in the sense that I never had to take out the garbage. Yeah. I never had to carry anything heavy. I always got a ride. He always lit the barbecue. He was a very good cuddler. And you know what I love the best about these ones? Is if you're in the street, they will fight a motherfucker for you.
Yeah.
Like this guy, you know how he was a bit on the rough side. Like he was a bit like built, and he was the biggest one in his family. And where they come from, like if your brothers are in a fight, you call everybody. Yeah. It's going to be a brawl. So they used to always call Mehdi, because it wasn't even that. Because guys like that, he doesn't have like that instinct to beat someone up. but he likes fighting, like just like a boxer likes fighting. It's like an art to him. So his brother would come up to me like, okay, we're gonna smash these guys, but don't go too crazy, okay? We don't want to go to the police. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys, I like that because I can fight I can fight most men on my own, but I'm lazy.
There's definitely, I think we have decided that we want this perfect man, and this perfect man, he's got like loads of emotional sensitivity but no emotional needs of his own. He's really strong, but he never goes to the gym. The only thing he really smashes is an avocado or the patriarchy
Or this pussy.
Yeah. Hey girl. He plays the guitar, but never for too much at house parties, and never Wonderwall. He we want this list of this man, and is perfect. And
I don't. Yeah, for me, men have 5 emotions I'm ready to deal with: happy, sad, angry, horny, hungry. Oh, sorry, 6, and tired. Those are the. I can do emotions.
All 7 dwarfs are there.
Girl, I know. the 6 dwarfs.
Except horny.
I'll give up.
Where's horny gone?
Horny's in there.
Oh, horny's there.
I used to be 5. I put it to 6. You know what? I'll give him 7. He could pick his last emotion, but don't make it too crazy because I ain't got time.
Hunger, horniness, and tiredness are not emotions. They're like physical states.
But you know what? They're things that I can manage.
Yeah.
Do you ever just see a guy you can see he's getting cranky like a baby? Just give him a sandwich so he'd leave you the hell alone. Do you ever do that kind of stuff?
No, I wouldn't. I would not have that in tune. But I wasn't able to handle male anger because I wasn't used to it. And then I realized from reading that book, when men are angry, leave them alone.
You have to leave them alone.
I didn't know that because I didn't know anyone. I'd be like, are you all right? Are you crossed me? Come on, let's chat about it. And that's the last thing you want to do. Just leave them alone.
Oh, trust me. I pushed one guy. This is the last anecdote before we set our new challenges for the next episode. But I remember trying to push a guy too far. And I'm not even joking. My Iranian again, the first Iranian, he literally...
Did you come while watching The Prince of Persia or something as a child?
They're cute though. They're cute from that country. Have you ever seen their... Oh, Jesus Christ, they're hot.
They're very handsome.
Very handsome. But anyways, he smashed a Brita water filter on his head because I was, what's going on? Dana, don't walk. I walked backwards into my bedroom. I was like, don't turn your back on this maniac. Okay, so that's basically all the time we have, but we have to set our challenge for the next episode. So my challenge to you for your dating for next week is you have to try something new, anything new.
Okay.
And then what's your challenge for me?
I want you to do something that you really won't like.
Okay.
I know.
You're right. I don't like it. FYI, anyone wants to hit this booty, you can't. You can't.
You might like this even less. You might like this even less.
Okay.
I want you to just chat.
Okay.
Open your mind.
Okay.
Just chat to a white Southern English man.
I have done it before.
You could, open your mind and your legs might follow.
This is a disaster. I have to tell you, this is a disaster.
Why?
She did it once before. I saw it. It was horrifying. She did it in Soho House. And I have never felt so much pity for a person.
He wasn't white.
He was. That was the thing. He was white. She convinced him he wasn't.
He wasn't.
And he started freaking out. Big time.
Because he wasn't white, and I caught him.
He was so white. He went home and got his passport. We were out clubbing and the guy went home and got his passport. That's how bad she went in.
Listen, I know what people want him to pass. The dude wasn't white because I was like, why am I attracted to you? I'm just joking. That's so terrible. Okay, so the challenge.
So funny.
So just so everyone knows, I have tried. Been around the world and Okay, I've tried the white dudes. And there's lots of different types. Irish dudes are different from Scottish dudes, different from Welsh dudes, different from Northern dudes.
I'm not talking about Celts. I'm talking about a white Southern Englishman.
The ones that
try. The ones who are so posh.
No, I don't think he'll let me do working class.
No, it has to. When I say Southern pot, it has to be a middle class man.
Okay.
Basically, all the men I've dated. Now you have to try.
We work with?
Yeah.
That I've never considered dating.
They're here. They walk amongst us. Open your mind and your legs will follow.
That remains to be seen.
Okay.
But okay.
So what's my challenge?
So I showed you your challenge.
To do
you have to try
something I haven't done before.
So yes, that is us, old maids on the prowl, and we will be back with more tales from the darkness. All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
The Swipe Life podcast every Friday on YouTube. If you want to record your own podcast, make sure you contact Karl at filmwork.com for all your audio and visual needs. Don't forget to follow us at the Swipe Life podcast. And if you want the behind the scenes tea, make sure you're following us at the Swipe Life podcast on Patreon. See you next week.